This video contains spoilers for Dungeon Crawler Carl up to A Parade of Horribles.
Today we're going over your Dungeon Crawler Carl theories. Your theories. And I have gone through all of the comments that have been left on our videos, and I've compiled all of them, and I'm going to give them to these guys. This is going to be their first reaction to these theories, and we're just going to see what they think and let us know what you guys think. All right, there were a lot of theories that theorized that Carl is going to die.
Yeah, I saw a lot of those.
So I picked one, and then I picked a counter argument to it.
Here's the thing. I agree with these. I do think that Carl is going to die.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the end of the 8th book sets it up for that, where it says, remember, this is a tragedy.
Yeah, everybody was quick to remind us to remember this is a tragedy. I don't know how many comments we saw about that.
It's both a comedy and a tragedy.
Okay, so first up, this is a comment by Afrocut. He says, the heroes not sacrificing themselves as an ending always bothers me with fans. Characters like Carl head first into peril without regard for themselves, and that is fundamentally Carl as a character. If this ends perfectly happy, and to be honest, what does that even mean in a world like this in this series? I'll be mad. I think this will mirror the destroy ending of Mass Effect. Carl chooses to release the AI from its torment by entering it and destroying himself and all AI creation from ever happening again. The difference will be that here we have Donut exit the dungeon free as a normal cat, hearing a goodbye note from Carl, and then this message is from a deceased crawler as Katya picks up a purring Donut and they enter a new rebirth of Earth. I think that would be perfect.
That is literally the best ending.
You like Afrocut's theory, huh?
That is like, I can't think of a more perfect ending than that.
I disagree fundamentally with what this guy is saying. There's way too many works of fiction where the hero does sacrifice himself, and it's a trope that always bothers me because I like it when my hero has a happy ending. I do. Sue me.
But Jay, remember, this is a tragedy.
It sure is. But it already is a tragedy. The Mantids were just genocided by the AI. So, I mean, how tragic do you need it to be? Do you need to have your main character die and sacrifice themselves because that's what is expected of them? I don't think so. That bothers me fundamentally. I just let your characters have good endings.
So yeah, I agree. I'm more on your side on this one. And you think Carl should die because you hate Carl?
No, would I rather have him live? Yes. However, knowing the track of where this is going,
like the trajectory,
he has to end. For everyone else to have a happy ending, he must not have one.
So I agree somewhat, but I've seen this happen a lot in these comments where somebody will recommend or somebody will pose the theory that the book ends with Carl, this was his last entry or whatever, and somebody actually commented a great counter to this.
And also before you start, we made a comment back in I think it's like the 3rd review of Dungeon Crawler Carl, where we said Dungeon Crawler Carl is for the boys. I'd like to retract that. It's for everybody.
Correct.
Shout out Lane.
So Underhill, he said, I posted on a different podcast that it's possible the stories are actually Carl's entries in the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook. And Elaine Fox comments, I think that's a good theory, except for the fact that the book includes examples of Carl's actual entries.
Yep.
That would be very weird for the book to have actual entries from Carl and then to say, oh, this whole thing was Carl. Mm-hmm. Like the whole series was Carl giving an entry.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. Because none of the Dungeon Crawler Cookbook authors are like giving their entire recounting. It's like diary entries. That's not what the book is. And it's a cool theory. And I'm not like saying you're dumb or anything like that. I don't subscribe to that theory.
I'm saying you're dumb.
Oh.
Do you have thoughts on that one, Sean?
Kind of. It may not be an entry because maybe he's making entries of certain aspects, but maybe he has a second spot where he's explaining everything that's going on. So he has like 2 entries, so to speak.
But that would be weird.
I mean,
to have his entries in the book. These people are saying like that's how the book ends. It's like this was Carl's last entry. It's like that doesn't make sense because this has been him telling a story. We have had his entries. It's weird. It's weird. It doesn't work.
It's weird, but
Also, I have quite a few donut theories, so I just want to bust all these out in one go. So the first one, they also mentioned that when Donut is in her offer meetings, that for her and Pony, the zone isn't a zero zone completely. Like how Carl loses all his dungeon upgrades, Donut is limited but doesn't lose all of them. Makes me think that if she went outside of a magic zone, she wouldn't be our Donut anymore.
Yeah.
So that is one of the theories posed.
Yeah.
Is when she leaves the magic zone,
She's done.
she's done. Right.
Yeah.
And here's another one. So in the very beginning of the last book, when Donut meets with Carl's wife, they have a brief discussion about the difference between a zero zone and the near zero zone that is required to keep Donut's sapience active. For the time being, in order to keep her higher brain function going, she has to be in some kind of dungeon environment. However, and this is where I get into theory time, I imagine, like the former crawler who had a brain injury, that the company that would release her after indentureship, if she made a deal or won, would probably have a fix for it. I think her only real danger would be escaping the dungeon unofficially. I believe someone has to make it permanent upon her release.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, all the technology that we've seen outside of the dungeon, like, why would it not be able to be recreated outside of it?
Right.
I think Donut's fine. I think if there was an issue, it would have been brought up by now, and it'd be kind of cheap if they were like, oh, actually, we forgot. Like, how do you go through everything that they've been through? And, like, Audette doesn't say anything? Mordecai doesn't say anything? I don't buy it. Like, why would they not tell Donut, hey, if you're fighting for nothing?
Right.
They would tell her.
Well, and not just that, but also, I think the biggest problem is Earth itself. I think if she goes to Earth, she might be screwed. Outside of Earth,
well, like
she might
I
be
said,
fine.
Right. Yeah. But I think officially, like, if she were to win, there would be a fix.
Absolutely, I agree.
Retro Arcade 1060 said, what if Donut is going to lose her memories and sapience when everything ends, as she will be in a zero zone? No upgrades or abilities, which would explain why Carl always narrates in past tense. He is telling the story to her babies, or maybe back to her when they recreate her sapience afterward, but all her memories are gone.
I don't actually hate that one. That'd be kind of cool. Because they're like, Donut gets her sapience back, but she forgets everything. I'm cool with that. Because there's a lot of stuff that Donut goes through in the series that is clearly weighing on her. And if she were to forget those, it'd actually probably be better for her. Honestly, This isn't a bad theory.
Yeah. All right. Here's the next one. Mr. Locke Kusanagi. He says, my current theory, everyone is going to die except Donut. When the dungeon forces a Carl v. Donut fight, I'm assuming, Carl will sacrifice himself and due to his primal race is assimilated with the AI. He then uses the powers of the, by now, free AI to resurrect everyone using their character and personality data stored within the AI.
Here's the problem. He's already done this. If you've read, that's literally the ending. Sorry, spoilers, but the main character, and that's another layer to this where I just dislike this theory. Why would he do the same ending twice? That's just boring. It's lame writing, and Matt Denneman is better than that. And if he does do that, shame on you, Matt.
Well, thanks for that, Jay. Spoiling the end of for me.
Which I didn't like, but...
Okay. All right. Well, next one, Apothecary related. This is a longer one.
Oh, my goodness.
Romaikuni.
Ha.
That sounds dirty.
Ha.
The thing with the final interview at the end is a cycle repeating itself. The 9-tiered attack wasn't an actual physical attack, but the different stages in the breakdown of the primals. The example would be the initial breakdown of the status quo. Then it escalated, people becoming aware of what was really happening, which happened in book 7, until it all culminates in the creation of the engine, Eulogist, and the Apothecary. The Apothecary is the same as the primal engine in the central system, but instead of being the primals that were for unification, it is the primals that were against it. During the interview, it goes over how a lot of the mythos portrayed in the dungeon levels are just over-exaggerated versions of the real things in their world. The interview goes over how the princess killed the tree in order to prevent the destruction from happening, but lost everyone she cared about in the process. The princess, in this case, is the Apothecary, who did something in order to prevent the primal engine and Eulogist from completing their goal, but lost those important to her and ended up becoming something similar to the primal engine. If we go back to one of the Eris's potential 5 endings, we can see that the donut killing everyone ending is the same ending as the Apothecary one that happened in the past. If the theme here is history repeating itself, we can imagine something similar is what is being hinted at. Donut doing the same thing as the Apothecary did in order to stop the AI. In the dungeon, this tree actually exists. Donut's new class is hinting at her destroying the tree. Given that Carl caught the coin, I can see the story leaning towards a repeat of what happened, but Carl stepping in and changing it in a way no one would think possible.
I love this theory. That's a great theory. I think it goes very well in line with everything that goes along with Carl's character. He is chaos incarnate, and you can't predict him. In fact, I think you can pinpoint the part exactly in the first book where the AI suddenly becomes obsessed with Carl. It's when he escapes that giant spirit monster that's like supposed to kill them because that one old dude peed in the alley.
Yeah,
I think that is the exact moment where the AI is like, what the heck?
Interesting.
Because he's like, he goes through all of these different scenarios, he plays them through, and he's like, that shouldn't have been possible. How did that happen? And I think that's why everybody is fascinated by Carl, is because he defies every single thing that's thrown at him. And so I think, yeah, I do. Do I think Carl's going to sacrifice himself at the end? I do. I do think he's sacrificing himself. I don't like it. I think he is. And I think that theory is probably exactly what's going to happen.
I do think the 5-sided coin thing is going to have something to do with this ending.
Agreed.
And remember also, we still have Carl's doomsday scenario.
Yeah.
We still have the Bedlam Bride. Like, those are two massive things that we still have.
And it's no coincidence that the fourth attack is Bedlam.
Yeah.
That's not a coincidence.
No, definitely not. And before we jump into some more theories, please like and comment. And if you have watched several of these Dungeon Crawler Carl videos that we've done, subscribe. We're going to be doing more Dungeon Crawler Carl videos. We love it.
Also, before we move on, if you have any lore questions that you want answered, we love making videos about the lore as well. If you want a more in-depth analysis, go ahead and comment down below what that
let
topic
Jay
is,
know.
and
Let
I
him
will
know.
do my research.
We want more Jay Explains videos.
Or give us some random videos for us to do. Like, tell us what you guys want to know us to do.
No, don't do that. No, I'm just kidding. You can do that. All right, now let's get back to the video. This one posted by XX Firefly XX.
It's the best TV
So
show
this
ever.
is another long one, so bear with me. This is my theory. Could be super off, but I think I am at least on the right track. Carl has been proven to not be a reliable narrator. He has started to hide things he is doing, even from the AI and the readers until it comes up. He also only knows what he knows and what he is told, and the Syndicate is also far from a reliable narrator as well. I think the 9-tier attack is what initially put the Eulogist to sleep. I think the new life born after are all from that of the primals. I think the source for the primal engines is the grain of rice thing in everyone's brains, which is actually the natural resources being harvested each crawl. I believe this is interesting. I thought about this because we've never really gone back to that. Where
Was that brought up?
in the first book, they talk about how
the whole reason why they're doing this is for the primal engines, and they make it very well known in.
I don't even remember if they say primal engines. I think it's just like
they talk about
they
it,
are
they do.
harvesting, or like when they go to a planet and they
harvesting all the
seed it.
resources.
Yeah, and
then
pretty much like they just move past that.
And then
like we are pretty much told like, hey, forget about that.
what's the book with the cards again? Which one?
The 6th one.
So that's the one where they talk about the main resource of what they're going for is getting primal engines. Each planet they're going to is creating a new primal engine for an AI.
Well, it's not creating the primal engines are already there. They've been scattered throughout the universe. Hang on. They're scattered throughout the universe by the primals that were against the Eulogist.
Right, and that's why they're mining mining for that resource.
But they were seeded
way before. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So continuing on, I believe this is what is powering the practical immortality everyone has if they are a citizen, which is why the crawls will never stop. I don't think the Apothecary wants to destroy everyone, just the crawl, because every time a crawl happens, it increases the chance of the Eulogist actually waking up, and all living things being forced into the hive mind. This thus actually ending all lives. I think the Apothecary will try another 9-tier attack just to save the rest of the solar system to prevent the Eulogist from fully awakening. I think based off the epilogue we got in Book 8, where they talk about the real tier attacks and how the princess destroyed everyone she loved to save the world, plant a seed and start the process over again. This might either be Donut or Katya, since she also wore the crown and is pregnant, which could be the, quote, seed that does it. Unfortunately, destroying everyone on Earth as they do it to save the rest of the solar system. That's my theory. The crawl won't ever actually finish because the world will end to save everyone else. Remember, the story is actually a tragedy. There it is again. And I firmly believe the last book will end with someone else writing a comment in the book saying this was Carl's last. So this was an interesting one, and I think there's a lot of merit to it, and something I never considered was Katya.
I hope not.
And I hope not as well.
Yeah.
But there are enough, like...
What, you don't want a you don't want a Rogue One where Katya and Carl are hugging at the very end and waiting for the bomb to go off as Carl drops the bomb?
Here's the thing. Katya, she already is given everything. Like, she had her farewell in book 7. She's an amputee in several different places. She's lost so much. Let her have her ending. Her ending was book 7. Just let her go. Let me have one character.
Yeah. Yep.
You animals. Great theory, though. I think you're on the right track. Here's the thing. Carl was already presented with his option. He could have destroyed the entire solar system already.
And the AI.
And he didn't. So why would he do it now?
I don't know.
It's going to be more of he's got no choice.
He does, again, and I'm going to make this very clear. He does not care about the rest of the universe. I've seen this comment, like, what do you mean? There's all those other crawlers. They're on Earth. They're on Earth. They're already here. The people he cares about are all here. What are you talking about? He doesn't care about anybody outside of Earth. Okay? Let's get that cleared up. He's Earth. Okay, people? Why would he sacrifice the only thing to save people that cause the end of Earth? I don't buy it. That doesn't make sense.
He's scaring me.
He's kind of freaking me out a little bit.
This one's been on my mind.
Fair enough.
Well, what? I couldn't tell.
Somebody also made another great comment that, like, these theories, like, yeah, we could speculate, but nobody at the beginning of book 8 thought Scolopendra is going to turn into a crawler. Nobody thought
sexy
that.
Scolopendra.
It's
Yeah,
sexy soul.
nobody thought that, and if you did think that, you were probably ridiculed, because why would you think that?
Right.
Yeah.
We have to think of crazy things.
So Matt Dinniman is great at throwing curveballs, and I don't think this ending is like cut and dry. I really don't.
It's going to be complicated. It's either going to be complicated or so outside the norm that it's going to throw everyone through a loop.
And if it's not, I'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. It's the whole point of having an AI control a dungeon. You could do literally whatever you want.
Yep.
If you wanted to make Carl an inch for a whole book, he could do it.
You could.
And he's like,
I mean, he already turned him into a little dachshund, didn't he?
and he threw him into a kangaroo suit which was awesome. But
All right. Next theory. This one goes back to the Iron Tangle, and I like this one. The bit that stuck in my head, this is BBCK7XE. The bit that stuck in my head was actually an almost throwaway moment just before the parade, where Carl walks into their safe room and notices how much the image of the tunnel system looks like the map of the Iron Tangle that Katya made. So much so that he initially mistook it for the Iron Tangle. That felt like it was meant to be significant. Otherwise, why mention it?
Fair.
What do we think that has to do with this, though?
I think it's a cool tie-in. I don't think it means anything. I think, I agree. I think that is exactly what Matt Dinniman is trying to say. He's like, hey, just like the Iron Tangle, the tunnel system doesn't make sense. I don't think it's anything deeper than that.
Yeah, fair.
Maybe it is.
Do you think it's anything deeper than that, Sean?
possibly.
I was hoping you guys would.
I think it's more of an Easter egg kind of situation where it's like it's described something very simply, but more thrown away kind of situation.
I agree with Sean. I think it's more of like a, hey, here is an analogy of how the tunnel system works by giving you something that already confused
hey,
you guys.
remember this?
I also think it's kind of a diss towards the fans. Like, hey, not a diss, but like a, hey, remember how you guys thought this was super confusing? That's the tunnel system too.
Yeah. All right. My last one that I found is my favorite one, and it's Lord Facepalm 98. He says, all I know is that Samantha is the most likely character to win the ascendancy and become a real god. It's the weirdest way the plot can go, and she's weird enough while remaining technically a good guy. It's not going to be Carl because he's too jaded. Donut will go with Carl instead of taking on a role that likely they will fight Maestro as he has a god body and will try to gain more power, and I just can't see Pony or the others getting it without access to a god body. It's going to be Samantha. That's my favorite theory.
That is a good theory. I also think there's a cool one that Ellie, the final stage of her 4 seasons character build, is going to be a goddess.
Partly a goddess.
And that was kind of a cool theory that I read. It would be neat if Ellie became a goddess, but also how would that even work? I think the Samantha theory makes more sense, but again, Matt Dinniman, he loves throwing curveballs.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I really don't think Maestro is a threat at this point.
No.
Because they have the what is the one technique that like throws the gods out of the people controlling the gods out?
Is it Laundry Day?
Yeah, Laundry Day.
Oh,
Day?
yes.
And
okay.
they'll just kill Maestro. Like, he's not a threat anymore.
No.
Yeah, agreed.
They've already survived him twice at this point. Dude, you've had your chance.
I do think Samantha is taking the ascendancy, though.
I
agree.
like that, though. I also think it's a way for Carl not to let the ascendancy blow up, because if he has Samantha and what's the show carry the
Audette.
Audette's a god. She
is, yes.
she signed up for the ascendancy, and the ascendancy cannot end.
Could also be Audette.
So if he has both Samantha and Audette saying, "Hey, I don't care who wins, just don't kill each other just yet. Wait until we get everyone out, then you guys can fight."
Because if Audette's to be believed, her whole thing is to make amends with Mordecai.
Right.
That's like her whole point, right? Other than to end the crawl.
Right.
She wants to make amends with Mordecai and what she did.
Right.
And I believe her. I think
I
think
agree.
she was genuine there.
Yeah, because I
don't think she cares about winning the
because I
ascendancy.
just reread the part where B just came back and Donna and them were in an interview, and she was still like holding that like sorrowness of like what she was doing.
If that's to be believed.
But yes,
because it's
she's
kind of
good-
like,
she's also
hey,
a good actor.
is it all BS?
Right.
But hey, timestamp this. We'll come back to it when the next book drops.
Yep.
Imagine very beginning, Donut's picking her class, and one of them is goddess class.
Oh my god!
And Donut becomes a goddess.
Okay.
Mark my words.
All right.
We'll come
Marking
back
them.
to this.
Yeah, mark it.
All right, everybody. Let us know what you think of everybody's theories and leave more comments, and maybe we'll go over more. Your comments.
Yours.
You.
You.
Your comments.
Right there behind
You.
the screen.
You.
We're talking about you.
We'll see you next one. Peace.